Joins. In this video, you will learn about what is a join and the various types of joins. A join clause is used to combine a row from two or more tables based on a related column between them. Different types of joins: inner join, left outer join, right outer join, full outer join, cross join, and self join. Inner join returns records that have matching values in both tables. So the basic syntax for a inner join: select column names from table 1, inner join table 2 on table 1 dot column name equal to table 2 dot column name. So here the table dot column name equal to table dot 2 dot column name is the common column name that we have in both tables. Now let's check an example. We have two tables, that is department and employee. In department table, we have a department ID and department names like IT, electrical, mechanical, like that. And we have an employee table where each employee belongs to a particular department. Now you can see that we have employee ID, employee name, and department ID. So each employee belongs to a particular department. Now we want to get for each employee to which department they belong to. So this is the result that we have to show: employee ID, employee name, department ID, and department name. So the inner join we should use where we have two tables and a common field in the two tables, and we want to get the matching records from the tables. So now let's check. So now select E.EmployeeId, E.EmployeeName, E.DepartmentId, D.DepartmentName from employee E, inner join department D on E.DepartmentId equal to D.DepartmentId. So this is the common column that we have in both tables. So to do a inner join, we need two tables, that is the first table, then inner join the second table on the common column. So employee E, inner join department D on E.DepartmentId equal to D.DepartmentId. Now when we execute it, it will combine both the tables, employee and department ID, and it will return the columns that we need from these two tables. So as you can see that we have specified all the columns: employee ID, employee name, department ID, and the department name. Joins, alias names are very important. As you can see that for every table we have provided one alias name. So what it happens if we don't use the alias? So let's check. This is the department ID. Now E.DepartmentId, let's remove the E. Now you can see that we got an error: ambiguous column name department ID. As the department ID is present in both the tables, so we have to provide from which table we want to get the column values. So either it can be from employee or it can be from the department table. So let's say E.DepartmentId. Now let's say select star from employee and let's execute it. Now you can see our inner join, it has returned 8 records, whereas in our employee table we have in employee tables we have 10 records, and for the last two employees we have department ID as null. So the inner join will match, it will match both the table records, and it will bring only the matching records. So in this case the department ID for the last two employees is null. So in our department table, we don't have any value that is null. So it has written 8 records. So we have to remember while doing an inner join that the inner join we should use where we want only the matching records to be displayed. If the record is not present in any of the table, the inner join will not work. Left outer join return all records from the left table and the matched record from the right table. On the right table, the matching data is written in addition to null values where a record exists in the left table but not in the right table. So the syntax: select column names from table 1, left outer join table 2 on table 1 dot column name equal to table 2 dot column name. Here also the table 1 dot column name equal to table 2 dot column name. So the common column that is present between two tables. So it's again the same department and the employee table. Now, as in the previous example, in inner join, we saw that we got only 8 records. Whereas in our employee table, we were having from employee. Okay. Let's open it in new query window. In employee table, we were having 10 records and star from department, and in department table we were not having any department name that is null. So in inner join we got only the records that matched in the two tables, that is department and the employee table. So using the left outer join, as you can see that it will bring all the records, and the records that is not present, it will make it as null. So now let's execute the syntax. So we got all the 10 records from the employee table. So in our case, the employee is the left table and the department is the right table. So employee E left outer join department D on E.DepartmentId equal to D.DepartmentId. So the table that you want on your when you're using a left join, you should remember the table from where you want to get all the data. That should be your left table, and if there are any matching records in your right table, if not, it will get it as a null. In this case, for the last two employees, we got the employee ID, employee name, as there is no matching record. It returned the department ID as null and the department name as null. So the basic difference between the inner join and left outer join: inner join will bring only the matching records, and the left outer join will bring all the records from the left table and the matching records from the right table. If there is no matching record, it will return null. Right outer join: return all records from the right table and the matched record from the left table. On the left table, the matching data is written in addition to null values where a record exists in the right table but not in the left table. So the syntax is: select column names from table 1, right outer join table 2 on table 1 dot column name equal to table 2 dot column name. So let's look into the same tables, department and employees. Now let's execute the right outer join query. Okay, before moving ahead, let's check for which all department we have employees and for which all department we are not having any employees. So select star from department. So we have 5 departments: IT, electrical, mechanical, civil and chemical. So now let's check for which all department we have employees. So select star from department where department ID in, select department ID from employees. Let's execute it. For IT, electrical, mechanical and civil. For these 4 departments we have employees. So now for which department we don't have any employees. So select department where department ID not in, select department ID from employee. So let's execute it. Okay, we didn't got any record. As the department in the employee table, we have null values for department ID. As you can see that for last 2 records we have null. So select department ID from employee where department ID is not null. Now let's execute both the statement. So for all these 4 we have employees, and for the chemical department we are not having any employee. Now let's execute the right join. Now you can see that it has written all the records from the right table. So in our case now the right table is the department. So right outer join department. It has written all the records from the right table and the matching records from the left table, that is from employee table. Now you can see that as for these employees, they belongs to IT department, electrical, mechanical and civil. But as we saw earlier, we were not having any employees for the chemical department, but it returned the chemical department. So the right outer join will return all the records from the right table, then the matching records from the left table, and if the right table data it is not present, then it will make those columns as null. So the difference between the right join and the left join, as we have in this example in the left outer join, we got all the records from the left table and the matching records from the right table, like the department names, and for which we were not having any matching records, as these 2 departments we were having null values. So for the department name it has written null. So in case of right outer join, it will get all the matching records. So all these are the matching records, and it will get the unmatching records from the right table, that is from the department, and for the left table columns it will make it null. Returns all records when there is a match in either left or right table. So select column names from table 1, full outer join table 2 on table 1 dot column name equal to table 2 dot column name. So let's execute it. Now let's execute it. Full outer join is a mixing of inner join, left outer join and right outer join. So as we can see that it returned all the matching records, that is inner join, and it got all the records from the left table, that is left outer join, and it returned from the right table, that is right outer join. So as in the previous examples, like using the right outer join, we got null for the department chemical, as we're not having any employee from the chemical department. Now in case of left outer join, we got all the employees and null for the department where we're not having any matching record, as we were having null in the department ID. In the same way, in case of inner join, we got all the matching records. So a full outer join is a mix of inner join, left outer join, and the right outer join. So a cross join that produces a Cartesian product of the tables that are involved in the join. The size of the Cartesian product is the number of the rows in the first table multiplied by the number of rows in the second table. So select column names from table, cross join table 2, or select column names from table, table 2. Now the same, we have department and employees table. Now let's see what the cross join does. Let's execute it. So now we got 50 records. So in employee table, we are having 10 records, 10 rows, and in department table, we have 5 rows. And when we executed the cross join, it returned 50 rows. So as the cross join states, the cross join that produces a Cartesian product of the table that are involved in the join. The size of a Cartesian product is the number of rows in the first table multiplied by the number of rows in the second table. So in the first table we were having 10 rows, and in the second table we were having 5 rows. So 10 into 5, 50 rows. In this circumstance, the same table is specified twice with 2 different aliases in order to match the data within the same table. Now we have a employee table where we are having employee ID, employee name, department ID, and manager ID. Okay, so for each employee, there going to be a manager, or he can have a manager, he cannot have a manager. So as we can see, for the first 3 records, they don't have any manager, and from the 4th onwards, all have one manager. So for these 2 records, the manager is 1, the manager ID is 1, and for all these records, the manager, for these 2 records, the manager ID is 2. So like that, we are having data in our employee table. So the syntax for self join: select column names from table 1 and the alias name, join table 1 B on A dot column name equal to B dot column name. So here we are joining the same table to get the result. As we can see that in this table, we are having the employee IDs and also as the manager IDs. So we are maintaining for each employee their manager ID, and we want to get the employees manager names. So this is our expected result: employee ID, the employee name, department ID, the manager ID, and the manager name. So let's execute. So select E.EmployeeId equal to E.EmployeeName, E.DepartmentId, E.ManagerId, comma D.EmployeeName equal to as manager name. From employee E, join employee D on E.ManagerId equal to D.EmployeeId. Let's execute it. So now you can see that we got the manager names for these employees. So here the employee E join employee D on E.ManagerId. So as we were having manager ID for each employee, now we want to get their let's say in this example for this manager ID we want his name. So we again joined with the same table employee D on E.ManagerId. So that is the manager ID equal to D.EmployeeId. And here in the select statement we have given D.EmployeeName as manager name.